Hey there, I hope you've been doing well. It's Keegan. I want to talk to you guys for like 30 seconds here at the very beginning to explain a couple of things. Number one, I'm going to jump right into the reading. I'll show you guys what I'm going to be focusing on, what I'm going to be asking, what the cards mean. But beginning with these readings, moving forward for the rest of 2021, I'm going to be offering extended readings beyond what I post for the general readings. And in the middle of this video, at some point, I'll insert a little explanation about what that means. There'll be no mid-roll ads. During this video, you'll just hang out with me for a little bit as I explain that. So let's go ahead and take a look just to get started on what I'm going to cover for the general reading here. I'm going to be taking a look at 8 different things here in a spread based on different aspects of the connection that you might have with this person. If you're not in a relationship with someone, you can still watch this if you'd like. You can view this as the person who's approaching you next. But this is a love reading, taking a look at an actual relationship here. So these are the things I'm going to be taking a look at. You can see them here on the screen. If you're not looking at the screen, you might want to take a look really quickly and just pause it. But what I'll do is I have 2 decks, and I'm going to basically go through and I'll pull a couple of cards from each of those decks and see what wants to come out. And then, as I mentioned, there will be an extended reading based on what happens in the general reading, and I'll jump in the middle of the video to talk to you guys more about what will be covered in that extended reading. Okay, Gemini, let's shuffle the decks up a little bit here. I do have a very specific spread laid out for you guys, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shuffle 2 decks. This one feels like it's getting really close to being ready. I did pre-shuffle these decks as well before sitting down to record to save some time, so they have been very mixed up. I'm going to put some cards down here, just going straight off the top. And then we're going to grab this other deck. Give it a couple of shuffles. Do one more. Same thing, just going to go right off the top of the deck in order of the spread. First thing that we're going to take a look at here is what you're bringing into this connection, which would be these 2 cards here. So we have the Hierophant reversed with the Wheel of Fortune reversed as well. So let's talk about what this energy is, which I think this is actually kind of interesting here. I want to start with the Hierophant. So you're coming into this with a bit of, like you're not what this person expected, and that's not a bad thing. The way that you approach relationships, the way that you approach connection, the way that you, I think just the way that you are to this person, it feels very unique. It feels to them like, you're not what they expected, again in a good way, but also it's like they haven't dated anyone like you. They haven't been with someone like you before. Now, one thing I want to talk about is there's some stuff, Gemini, that you're carrying into this connection that I think you should try to, if you don't have an awareness of it, you should try to figure that out. If you are aware that you're bringing some stuff in, like old baggage, old stuff that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with this person, just try not to bring that stuff in, right? Try not to bring that stuff in, because I can tell you just energetically with this relationship, you know, I haven't seen a lot of the cards, but just tuning into the energy here, there is potential. There's potential here. I can sense that there is potential, but I wish this Wheel of Fortune wasn't reversed, because there's something here for you that you don't have to lug into this. And it's, I think for a lot of you, you're not even aware that you're doing this. And that's why I'm kind of just trying to take a moment to tune in, because I want to know how much time I need to spend here. But I think I need to talk to you guys about this, because this card is bothering me. So here's what I'm going to say, okay? regardless of what has happened in the past and past relationships, regardless of what you've experienced with other people, regardless of what your last relationship was like, regardless of what you saw with your parents, regardless of anything that you can use as an excuse, right? That you can point to and say, well, no, Keegan, I clearly have to have my guard up. I need to make sure that this doesn't happen and this doesn't happen. I need to make sure that this, like, energetically, guys, when you are bringing that stuff into something new, you're manifesting the potential for it to happen, because you're saying to the universe, hey, I think this person is going to whatever, right? I think this person is going to lie. I think this person is going to cheat. I think this person is going to ghost me. I think that this person is going to, turn my life upside down in a bad way. So I'm going to put my guard up against it. I'm going to try to do everything I can to prevent it. But the universe is only aware of your energy. Like your words, like the justification of your energy, that doesn't matter to the universe. The universe is responsive to your energy. So if your energy is one coming in of fear and doubt and insecurity and suspicion, then it's going to reflect things that make you feel like those feelings and those emotions and those fears were justified. Because at our core, we just want to be right. We want to feel like we understand the world, that we have enough of a grasp of it, that we feel safe, right? But I'm telling you, there's stuff that you're bringing in here that doesn't necessarily need to be brought in. And it's making you repeat cycles with this person that you wouldn't necessarily have to repeat if you could just let things go. If you could release yourself from some of those fears. So they're really hitting home for me in terms of the messages that they're sending through, that it's not too late, because I feel like this connection is one where even if you've known this person for a while, it could be that you've known them for a while and this is something that is just sort of taken a turn into something romantic, or you've just met this person, or even if you've been dating this person, it isn't something that's become like super committed. And I think that's partially because your energy is kind of hesitant to fully engage. Now I want to take a look here and move on from that. Hopefully that was enough to get you guys through here, because I want to see what they're bringing in, okay? Now this is very interesting to me, because we have the Queen of Cups upright, and then we have the Empress, which is reversed. Now these two cards are very similar cards, right? They're very similar cards in terms of what they mean. I feel like with this person, they're coming in representing themselves as the Queen of Cups upright, which would make anyone happy. The Queen of Cups is a very nurturing, very loving, very supportive, patient sort of energy. It's someone who like they don't try to control their emotions. Their emotions don't control them. They're very balanced, and they have a lot of love to offer. I think this is how this person's coming in, right? This is how they kind of show up. But it's important for you to understand that beneath this, right, they have the Empress, which is reversed. And because the Empress is a major arcana card, it's almost like that's what's more important here than this Queen of Cups. Like, this is what they show to you and to the world. This is what's going on behind the scenes, okay? Now, what does the Empress reverse represent? Well, this represents someone who is, they could be a little bit selfish. They could be a little bit needy. They could have like codependent issues, where there's something going on here with this person where like the way that they are attached, the way they're truly attached when it's a connection is not necessarily the healthiest, but they cover it, right? They cover it. Now, I'm not saying that this is a bad person, right? Because I'm not necessarily sensing a bad person. The Empress reversed is not necessarily a negative card. It means like there's too much reliance, there's too much need, right? So this person could just be super needy, but it's not something I feel like they show. You might sense this, right? You might sense it, but in terms of what we're seeing so far and with this connection, what I want to say to you guys is, when someone has attachment issues, when someone has abandonment fears, when someone is codependent, then when you come in and you have doubts and you have suspicion, what this person will do in response is they will sense it. They will be aware that you have that something's going on with you. Okay? It will cause them to become even more clingy, more like your insecurities triggered their insecurities. And then when they ramp up how they try to deal with feeling insecure, which is most likely trying to get closer to you, trying to like reassure you, they do it in a very exaggerated way, and it might come across as being too much, or it might make you feel like you're being like overwhelmed or that you're being smothered by this person. But again, I think it's something that's subtle because they try to present that they aren't that way. They try to present that they're very even keeled, that they have their emotions in check. But there is something there that when they are triggered, when their fears are triggered, it becomes a very exaggerated sort of response that I'm getting from them. Now, I will say for some of you, because I'm sensing that's not going to resonate with everyone. So the other way that this could manifest, right, that this could kind of play out, and again, like, don't get hung up on genders. When I'm talking about the Empress, like, you know, the tarot cards don't really have gender. They have characteristics, okay? So, but the other way that this could manifest is that when this person gets the feeling that they aren't necessarily in the space that they want to be in with you, or they sense you pulling away, or they try to get you to get closer and it doesn't work, they could, instead of trying that, like, I'm just going to keep trying to reassure them, this could manifest in a place where this person almost like their patience wears out. And so this could be someone who they're going along fine, and then something happens, and then they pull away. They just like flee the scene. They pull away. They're like their own focus on themselves, their own needs takes over, but then they come back in. Okay. It's definitely one of those things where I don't want to say that this person is emotionally manipulative, because I think when you use the word manipulation, there's almost an implication there that they're doing something deliberately. And I don't think that they do this deliberately, because again, it's like, this is really how they want to be like seen. This is really what they want. They want to be viewed as that Queen of Cups, but underneath it, they're bringing in some stuff that might cause problems. Okay. But to be fair, you are too. And I think what's triggering them the most is the fact that they don't understand why you don't trust them, because they feel like they haven't done anything to necessarily make you not trust them, right? I feel like that's your old stuff that's getting in the way. Now, let's take a look, though, because the next thing we're going to look at is what you gain, what you receive from the relationship, and then we'll take a look at what they gain and receive from the relationship. So what is it that you're going to get from this? Look at this. That's confusing. Two different decks. Ace of Coins, Ace of Pentacles, same card, just different decks call them different things. Coins of Pentacles, same thing, same card. Reversed, upright, right? That's kind of confusing, but this is a continuation of your energy. I think what you're going to gain from this, to be quite honest with you, Gemini, is an awareness here that, on one hand, this is you being partially in, partially out. This is you understanding that what's in front of you is something that is full of potential. There's a new opportunity, but not quite being willing to commit enough to go into this, so that it almost feels like this connection. It's not that it's a full like missed opportunity with this person, but you're missing out on what could be with this person. And I think that you gain the awareness of that. Like, you gain the awareness that you're blocking part of the potential that could exist with this person because you're scared of either getting hurt again, or you're scared of, misreading someone, or, someone showing you who they really are and it being so different from who you thought that they were. But again, like it's tricky because we have to carry lessons forward from our past experiences. We have to bring those lessons forward with us. But we can't carry them around like a suit of armor that we put on, because then people can't get close to us anymore. Right? So it's really important to distinguish the difference between knowing, having knowledge, having insight, having learned lessons along the way about people, and internalizing that to say, you know what, I'm not going to repeat the same mistake, or I'm not going to get tricked by this person because I've learned those lessons. So I'm not going to wear those things like, protective gear to keep people away, because I'm not going to attract those people anymore. I've closed out that cycle. This Wheel of Fortune, to me, I'm going back to this because this really does feel like, to me, you trying your best to not repeat past mistakes. But in trying to do that, actively trying to avoid things, you're bringing them in. Like, you're bringing them in. And with this person having this weird duality between what they present and what's going on inside of them, when your energy gets triggered, you might actually have the feeling of like, oh my gosh, some days they're like this and some days they're like this. And I don't know which one is the real them. It's both, right? When you're in a good spot, they're in a good spot. When you get triggered, they get triggered. And if you think about that, you'll start to see that that's true. When you get in your head about this person, you manifest a different version of them. It might even feel like they've suddenly changed, that they're acting very different. But that's because you are vibrating at a different frequency, because you're coming in from fear. So it's almost like this, right? This is very interesting to me, and bear with me, okay? So when you're coming in and you're like, I'm not like anyone you've ever met before. I'm going to do things differently. This person really likes this about you, right? This is who you get. You get the Queen of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles upright. That's it going well, right? That's everything going well. Now, when you come in and you have all of your baggage, that's where you get the Empress reversed. And that same opportunity with this person also reverses, right? So be really mindful of your own energy, because you are, it's almost like, are you familiar with, what is the name? I'm blanking on the name, guys, because this is so off topic, but they're showing me the actual experiment. It's a cat in a box, and it's like the observer, right? And it's like, is the cat alive or dead? There's poison in the box. It's a cat alive or dead. And it's like, it's both until someone decides what they think is most likely, and then they open the box, and that's what it is, right? That's what's happening with this relationship. When you allow yourself to think, this might be a connection with this person that could be good, things are good, because that's your expectation. When you think, I don't know, maybe this person's up to no good, maybe this person blah, 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 you perceive that person differently. But that is your perception, right? Let's take a look and see what they're getting from this relationship. Well, interesting, right? We have the Fool card, and then we have the Seven of Pentacles, which is reversed. I want to actually start here with the Seven of Pentacles. This is a place where I just, energetically, this person, where you're going to figure out that you're getting in your own way, and you're sort of like causing this like flip-flop back and forth between, what you think. And I don't think that's limited just to this relationship, to be honest with you, because this feels like a lesson, like a big lesson, right? So this could be something with like a new job, new friends. You kind of get in your head. This also, like, it's interesting reading for Gemini, the twins kind of battling it out, right? Each having an opinion that's a little bit different from the other. This person, what they're going to gain from this is knowing when to admit defeat, right? When to look at a situation and say, you know what, no matter what I do, no matter how much effort I put into this, no matter how much work I put into this, I don't think that there's going to be what I want. right? But this Fool card is all about them wanting to take the chance, wanting them to hold on to hope, wanting them to, see this develop and see this grow. They're going to learn from this connection how to balance those, right? How to know when to walk away from something because they're not seeing the growth and they're not seeing the return on the investment of their time or their energy. What I want to say here from what we've taken a look at so far is that Gemini, I think that if this is someone that you want to potentially have something with long term, then I would say it's really important for you to deal with whatever might be getting in your way of connecting with this person a little bit more deeply. It's not that they are about to give up, right? It's not that. But part of what they are going to take away from this connection is understanding inside of themselves how much time they're willing to put in before they move on. Because I think for this person, again, because of they want to be the Queen of Cups, they have the Fool card. This person's looking for something that is going to go somewhere. This person wants to have a connection. This person wants to have a relationship. This person wants to have a partner. And where they're at energetically, it feels like to me they're really starting to put some limits in place. Right? So this would be like, okay, I'm going to give this 3 more months and see, if this has gone anywhere, and if it's still the same sort of stuff, if I still feel like I'm trying and I'm not getting any closer, then I have to walk away because, I don't want to spend years and years and years trying to find somebody. So if this doesn't feel like it's working, I'm going to honor that. So if you want to make this work, if you want to see this work, then I would just encourage you to do what you can to allow yourself to open up and get closer to this person, because they're not going to wait around for forever. All right, we're going to take a look at your secrets or fears. This totally makes sense here. 5 of Wands with the 8 of Swords, which is reversed. So yeah, this 5 of Wands energy is just about having to be hard and having things that are going to be, disruptive, and having things that are obstacles that get in the way, and having to deal with things you don't want to deal with. Now, what's really interesting here with this 8 of Swords coming out reversed is that it's almost like, Gemini, you're scared of letting this stuff go. But you can let it go. This is all that baggage. This is exactly the energy I was picking up on, right? The 8 of Swords, when it's reversed, represents a place where we can have hope that we can be liberated from something. We can find freedom for something. This card is reversed. It's not upright. If this card was upright, it would be a totally different story, because that's about, being a victim and being trapped in your mind and creating things that, are getting in your way. But this represents energy of being able to heal something. But this is about your fears. You're scared of letting down your guard. You're scared of opening up and trusting, because you don't want to be caught in a situation where you've opened yourself up to someone and then it goes wrong. Right? I just happened to glance there, guys, and I just noticed it was 2222. So you might just want to, whatever I don't even know what I said, because I just glanced and I saw 2222, and then I was like, wait a minute. It's not going to, actually, you know what? It's not going to be 2222 for you, because I'm putting a little thing at the beginning. So I'm just letting you know. Whatever I said there before I sort of stopped, on mine, just recording from the reading, it said 2222. I just realized it's not going to line up for you, so apologies for that. You can heal from this. You can let go of the things that you've built up as an attempt to make yourself feel like you're safe, right? Now here's the thing, and I think some of you might not like this. Guys, you know what? We can never keep ourselves safe from the potential of being hurt or disappointed. There are people who, have been with people for decades, and then something happens that, throws everything into a tailspin. So you can't go into relationships really from a place of fear. They never work when you go into a relationship from that perspective, right? So we have three other things that we're going to take a look at. This is the shared common ground, or shared goals that both of you have for the relationship, and then we'll take a look at your perception of them and their perception of you. What I want to do before we take a look at that, though, is this is a good spot for me to insert some information for you. I just pre-recorded something, so there's no mid-roll ad. This is going to be the mid-roll ad for you, but there will be an extended reading for this relationship, and I'll be looking at things, right? So I'll do a completely, go further in depth, and that's something that I've started offering with this round of readings for those people who want to become channel members to help support me and the channel grow. So I'm going to insert that now, and then when we come back, we'll take a look at the rest of these things and wrap up the general reading. Hey guys, it's me. As promised, I'm jumping in here in the middle to talk to you guys for a little bit. This would be considered your mid-roll ad break, but please don't click away from me because I want to explain something to you guys. Even if you're not interested in the extended readings, you might be down the road when I post a general reading. So I just want you to know, if you're still here hanging out, I want you to know what's going on. So first of all, I just want to talk to you about the easiest way to get access to those. I'm going to have links that are in the description box below directly to the extended reading, as well as a link that will take you directly to the sign up page to become a member here on the channel. The extended readings are going to be members only, and the reason for that is because I wanted to shrink the number of people that I was tuning into for those extended readings. It allows me to go a little bit more in depth and get a little bit more specific, because instead of reading for thousands of people, I'm probably going to be reading for dozens or 100, right? So that's the purpose behind doing the extended readings. I also want to bridge the gap between the people who want a little bit more information than what I can do in the general readings, but maybe can't afford a personal reading with me, or they aren't comfortable doing a personal reading with me, and they want to get a little bit more of an explanation from the cards. So that's why I'm doing that. Now, I also want to let you guys know what I'm going to look at in that extended reading, so you can make up your mind about whether it's something that's interesting to you in terms of this reading, or if you want to wait and maybe join up the next time. What you can see here is I'm going to take a look at a few more things in terms of this relationship, this connection. We'll focus in on those. I'm going to use 2 decks again. I'll pull 2 cards, one from each deck, look at the energy of those things, and that's what we'll be taking a look at in the extended reading. Now, if you're not looking at the screen, you might want to take a look, because I have it listed here on the screen for you. But I just wanted to jump in and let you guys know exactly what was going on, and we're going to go right back into the general reading now. All right, so let's take a look and see what we have here in terms of common ground, shared goals here. So 7 of Swords coming up here, upright, and then we have the Knight of Cups, which is also upright. So this is very interesting, okay? Again, going back to what we talked about at the very beginning, with you having that Wheel of Fortune reverse, them having the Empress reverse, both of you have some fears, okay? This Knight of Cups, I don't hate this, right? But both of you are coming from this place of like not being willing to fully commit. There's lots of fun here. You both like each other. Definitely flirtation. There's even romance that I'm sensing here. You do have a fondness for each other. But in terms of like taking it to the next level, you're both hesitant. Like both of you are kind of like, I don't know. The reason for that, right, is because you both have some insecurities. You both have some things that can like get in the way of you being able to connect. And I think both of you also have a tendency to kind of like turn around and run when things start to get challenging, or if things start to feel tricky to you. There's a tendency there to like, well, this is what this is, okay? Both of you have this tendency to say, well, if I don't let myself go all in, if I hold back and I don't commit fully, then I have an out when things go bad. I'll be able to just walk away from this. I'll be able to, like, it feels like the mindset here is like, I'll be able to keep myself safe as long as I don't get too serious about this person. And I think both of you are doing that to a certain extent, right? I mean, I talked about that at the beginning, where it's like when one of you triggers the other one, it just starts to snowball and amplify, and then you lose sight of each other. Like you both lose sight of each other, and you realize, like, how did we get to this point? Because you don't even seem like the person that I thought that you were. But if you can take a step back and really kind of like rewind the tape and look at what happened, you'll see that it was just incremental. It wasn't something. It might seem like it was something that just happened overnight, but it wasn't. It was like they said something that made you get insecure, and then you said something that made them get insecure. And so instead of like the two of you vibing with this, right, that Hierophant reversed with the Queen of Cups, the two of you start vibrating here with the Wheel of Fortune reversed and the Empress reversed. And there's more potential here because there's more trauma here. There's more stuff that needs to be healed. There's more stuff that needs to be resolved. There's stuff that you're avoiding. And these are major arcana cards, right? So they're showing me what energy is most prevalent. But what happens is, you trigger them, they get triggered, they trigger you get more triggered, you trigger them, and it's a cycle, right? And both of you are holding back, waiting for the other one to kind of become more stable or more solid in your mind, because both of you are having a shared experience of feeling like you get close and then something happens and you're like, do I even know this person? Do I understand this person? Can I trust this person? Right? There's lots of that going on here. Let's take a look and see how the two of you are perceiving each other. Okay? How do you perceive them? All right. Justice with the Eight of Wands, which is coming in here reversed. Now, I want to talk about the Eight of Wands, actually. You perceive this person as not necessarily being the best communicator. There's something here about them that is a bit frustrating for you, and it feels like it's just about not really being able to be certain about them. And that is about not being able to be certain about who they are, not being able to be certain about what it is that you want from them. But what's really interesting to me is that along with that, right, you really do feel like this is someone who would be honest. You feel like this is someone who would work with you to try to, find a middle ground, to compromise, to have something that where you feel like both of you are getting your needs met. And there's also something about this person that feels like, even though you don't like how they communicate, you feel like they're clear when they do communicate. The communication issue with them is really more about how can I explain this energy? You don't like the pace at which they're willing to communicate with you. It almost feels like this person is they're not secretive, because I feel like once they do open up, they're very honest, right? They're very clear. But it takes them a while to respond. For some of you, so what I'm getting here is sort of like you ask them a question and you're asking them in the moment because you want to try to understand what's going on in the moment. But their response to you will be something like, oh, that's really interesting. Let me think about that and get back to you about like how I feel about that. It's almost like I feel like they can't have a conversation in the moment. They always need time to like think about it and prepare themselves to have a conversation. And you don't like that. Like you would rather be able to just have the conversation, be in the conversation, deal with whatever, move on from it. And they don't do that, right? So there's a little bit of confusion there for you about But again, like when they come in, when they do come back, they're ready and they do talk and they're very clear and they're very honest. They're very open. But it takes them a while to get there, and that's kind of annoying to you. I think that's one of the concerns that you have, is kind of like, I feel like you've almost been waiting to see if that goes away, but it's not going to, as long as this dynamic's playing out, right? As long as both of you are kind of having this like two, right? Like you're doing this, remember? Upright, reversed, upright, reversed, upright, reversed, upright, reversed. So they can't settle and feel like, okay, you know what? It's safe for me to talk to this person in the moment, because I'm not going to, even if I do mess up and say the wrong thing, or if I, stumble on my words, or I say something and then I'm like, no, that's not really what I meant. It's not going to cause problems. They can't feel that way about you until you feel more solid and stable to them. Okay. Last thing here, how do they perceive you? 10 of Wands reversed with the 9 of Swords reversed here. This makes sense to me. They're aware that you've been through a lot. They're aware that you are in a place where they are aware that you're not able to commit right now. And I don't even think that they're asking you to make a big commitment. What it feels like to me is they know that you're in a place of trying to heal. It's interesting because I feel like you are not aware of this as much as they are, right? That baggage. They see it. They know. They can sense it from you could be dealing with you could be dealing with a water sign here, or potentially an Aries, because what I'm getting here is this person is very observant of other people's emotional state. It's kind of like an innate thing for them to be able to perceive where someone's at emotionally. And so they are aware that you are trying to deal with things. They know that you are actually actively trying to deal with them. And that's part of the reason why they're still engaging, right? Because they see that you're trying. They're trying to give you the space to deal with it, but it can't be something that goes on for forever. So I'm super curious to kind of look more in depth with this. I know not everyone who's listening to me is going to choose to watch the extended reading. That's why I'm doing the extended readings, to kind of shrink the pool a little bit and get a smaller group of people. But I'm really curious to take a look at it. For those of you who aren't going to watch it, what I will leave you with here is that it's something I've already said to you. You need to make up your mind what you want from this person, right? If ultimately you look at this person and you're like, I don't think I want something long-term with this person, I'm enjoying hanging out with them, I think that eventually they will lose interest and move on to something else if they don't see this going somewhere. Now, if you really do want to make this work with this person, then you're going to have to open up. You're going to have to talk to them and let them, let them in, because I feel like you've really kept them out. You've kept them out. And they're on the fence about how long they're willing to continue to try to put in the effort, right? And I think that's fair. I think it's fair because, if someone is really trying to put in effort, trying to get in, trying to get close, trying to understand us, and what they're constantly getting from us is no, 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 no one should stay in that sort of dynamic for longer than feels like it's right for them. Right? So you need to make up your mind about what it is you want from this connection and act on it. If you don't think that this is for you, let it go so that someone else can claim this person, or they can go and find the person who's right for them. And if it's something that you want, then you need to really push yourself and try to open up and let go of some stuff that doesn't have anything to do with this person, and be able to see the person in front of you as being someone new that hasn't done anything to you, hasn't done anything to try to upset you or cause any problems. Okay, so thank you for hanging out. If you're going to join me for the extended reading, the link for that's going to be in the description box below. along with a link that will allow you to sign up as a channel member so you can have access to that. And I will be back very soon doing readings for February. Okay. Love you, Gemini.